Hello, everyone. Nicky Hawkins, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with another video. I'm proud to be joined by a good friend of mine, hopefully not too good friend, Saturday afternoon, as we go to war. Freddie from the brilliant Southampton channel, The Ugly Inside. Fred, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad. Double busy. I think I've, uh, you know, picking up a bit of confidence. Well, Saints picked up 2 wins, but typically
Mm.
an awful record at St James's. So, hopefully we can build a bit of that momentum for Saturday night.
Yeah, that's definitely not what we want to hear. Listen, coming into this game, Fred, as you say, now you got a striker on form in Ings. I think he's been doing brilliantly lately. A little blip in the road against Newcastle, I think, but the confidence he's picking up at St Mary's, and we come into this game devoid of confidence is the word. How do you see this one going, pal? First of all, are you worried about West Ham at all?
Typically when we write about oppositions and say they're in the worst form of their life, they're sinking like a stone, they always tend to kind of turn up at St Mary's with
Hmm.
a well-beating kind of program, sort of signed up from their manager. But I think the important thing for us is to build more momentum at home, and I think it's a football cliche, but our fans have been that 12th man in the last couple of home games.
Yeah.
It's been fairly sort of toxic, a bit passive before the international break in November, and suddenly we've come back with this renewed kind of enthusiasm. We've seen a lot of people actually move their season tickets over to a common corner, if you like. So a lot of noise is now coming out the same part of the stadium, and I think that the players are reacting that way as well. And we think we'll never shake off that horrific result at home to Leicester. That'll always come back. But I think now, this season, I think our goal difference is absolutely wiped out. We've kind of relied on it over the last couple of seasons to help us out at the end of the season. So just got to just make sure get the points on the board now.
Well, that might give sort of West Ham fans a bit of confidence. How do you recover from a result like that, and start picking up results? Because fair play, mate. That a result like that could wipe players out, and they haven't. They've sort of kept on going, and the fans seem to be behind them.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the siege mentality, if you like. Sticking with your team through thick and thin. And actually, I think we had the lowest almost sort of attendance in the last two home games, but we've seen the hardcore support there. We haven't seen any of the
Hmm.
sort of tourists that you see come into the big games. I think everyone's been put off now watching Southampton at home, unless you're living in an SO postcode and surrounding areas. But
Yeah.
it is that it's the cliche. The fans can get behind the team. Hopefully the players have been reacting, but I think Ralph has probably worked double training sessions in the week. Succeeding the Leicester game, and
Mm.
they've worked hard. They came out against Arsenal. We should have got 3 points at the Emirates.
Yeah, I
And I
agree,
think
mate. I agree.
if we look at it, I mean, 7 points from the last four games after the international break isn't such a bad return. I think we're back in the pack now. We're still within fighting distance.
Um, so how do you see this one going on Saturday?
It's going to be cagey, isn't it? And I think for Saints, a win by any means. You suggest that probably West Ham are devoid of kind of any ideas, and I think some of your star men at the moment are kind of missing in action. Felipe Anderson, it was his headline show last season just after Christmas. Two goals.
Hmm.
Down at St Mary's, and Arnautovic scored in the London Stadium at the end of last season and the year before that. So thankfully he's gone. You've got a crisis in the nets. You're relying on this kind of third choice goalkeeper as well. But hopefully we can take advantage of that. I think Pellegrino is a man under pressure, to say the very least. So we've got to channel that advantage and take something. I think 3 points it's got to be a target, but I think a point at home wouldn't be so far removed either.
It. People will try and downplay it, but it is a huge game. It's a huge game in terms of getting our season back on track, and obviously, if you win, it can really propel you out of the out the mire. When you've spent so long down now, getting that result and getting out of it can build confidence as well. I predict a loss, Fred. You know, I don't think Southampton will have much to worry about. And you know, I've seen, and that's you know, I've seen Southampton lose 9-0 at home this season, and I still think that you'll do us. I still think that you know, the fight and the will, and you know, the fans. I think the fans. Listen, our fans are some of the best in the country when it comes to away games. But you know, your fans are going to realise what you know what this game means. And you know, we've seen it at Upton Park in the past, and I'm sure you've seen it before. You know, when the going gets tough and the team really needs support, that's when you know the vocal fans come out. I don't think our players are going to be able to handle the pressure. And when it comes to the crunch, I think Southampton win this one. You know, I think that Southampton win this one quite comfortably, to be quite honest with you.
Nicky, this is the lowest I've ever seen you, mate.
Listen, there was the thing that worries me a little bit, Fred, is that when you're looking at these results and things like that, when it comes to West Ham, people are not coming out angry anymore. People are coming out saying, "Oh, well, you know, I don't really care anymore." You know what I mean? It's just we've been dragged through the mire so many times when we was promised so much. Tell me some good news. Tell me something like Redmond's injured or ward-prowse, because I always seem to have good games against us.
No, I mean, actually, to be honest, Redmond hasn't hit so much of his form this season, so he's not perhaps the danger man that you need to look out for this Saturday.
Danny
Redmond,
Ings, isn't it?
Danny Ings is the man on form right now, and scored his fifth goal in as many Premier League games at the weekend against Newcastle, and I think he's only actually, I think he's scored in more defeats this season than he has in wins. The two, obviously, the Watford and the Norwich games. But Danny Ings, the man on fire right now, and we're keeping him fit. You know, there was a huge sort of doubt over his fitness at the start of the season, but you know, he's playing every week. He's running his heart out. He's chasing sort of lost cause, and I think there's also triggers you need to look out for Danny Ings. You know, when he gets to that kind of 18-yard box, he kind of really bumps up the acceleration to put that goalkeeper under pressure. And we saw that with a goal at Tottenham. You know, Lloris looking like an idiot on the day, but
Yeah.
Danny Ings scores all sorts of goals. Scored a header midweek against Norwich, I think it was. You know, scored a great goal at the weekend at Newcastle. Composed finish, stayed on side. Is quick. He's smart. You know, stayed on side for the Arsenal goal. So great. He's got a great repertoire of different goals. But I think one man perhaps you need to look a little left field is perhaps Moussa Djenepo. Signed in the summer. He looks unstable at the best of times. It looks like he's off balance, but he's got a trick or two in his box, and he could well turn your defenders inside out.
Great. Fred, thank you so much for joining us on this preview. May the best team win. Hopefully it's us, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be you. So I'll see you on Saturday, I'm sure.
Cheers, mate. All the best.
All right. Thank you very much. One thing left to say from me, and I'm sure Freddie won't mind. Come on, you irons. That's fabulous.